I'm trying.
These can also be words that how you feel when you feel it or when you think of small groups, and also words that make you think of small groups. So we see the larger words are words that multiple people have entered in. So the more people that enter the words in, the larger they get. So our cloud is going to kind of morph for a moment while people are pulling in their thoughts.
Yes, and I'm seeing differentiated. That's a large word. So we're seeing that a lot of us. Super shine, guys.
Nice.
Focus, personal.
I like that one says closing gaps. Absolutely. Small group instruction can definitely close gaps, but it has to be targeted small group instruction, and that's what we're moving towards, database targeted flexible grouping.
Got it. Tracking. Good. No more than 6 students. Okay, so this is matching up to that confidence that in that implementation that you all are saying that you're already doing in the classroom. So that is amazing. Needs of student. Okay, so we're going to take a few more seconds to get your words on there if you have not already. And thank you to everyone who have already input their words. Building confidence. I love it. Okay, so it seems like we have a lot of like-mindedness going on.
So it seems like they are up to par, Miss G. Our job is going to be easy today.
Absolutely.
All right, so back to Miss G. We're going to talk a little bit about some ice cream.
Okay, guys. So I want you to sound off in the chat. You've had your ice cream, but now let's think about some other people. You're on a field trip to an ice cream shop. Each kid needs a sweet and frozen treat. How would you manage this situation? Andre loves chocolate but hates vanilla. Sam is lactose intolerant. London is vegan. Uh-oh, something happened. Okay. Malachi has a nut allergy. And Laura's mom requests she does not have sugar in her ice cream because she might get a cavity. So go ahead and sign off in the chat. How are you managing this situation, guys?
I tried to get y'all some ice cream like that, but my budget couldn't afford it.
Okay, Neapolitan, okay.
So Ms. Reese, you're going to give every kid Neapolitan ice cream?
Somebody said no ice cream. Go to the salad bar. That would be me. I like that idea.
Sweet and frozen treat. That is not a salad bar.
I will be the one at the salad bar while everybody else is getting ice cream. Okay, nobody gets anything. Ice pops. Fruit. Salmon London. Okay, so I'm starting to see a little bit, Miss Adams, that individualization. I'm starting to see it. Sam and London need a different, so they need sorbet.
Get a gluten-free ice cream.
Make a list for each kid. Okay. Okay, guys, so as you all are continuing to drop that, I want to, again, I called out some of the ones where I started to see that individualization going on. So instead of that whole class suffering, what are we doing to actually individualize to make sure that all students are able to get that ice cream?
Right. So as I was shopping for ice cream for everyone, I thought to myself, if I just bring in Neapolitan, somebody's going to be like, I don't eat Neapolitan ice cream. I want some sorbet. I need some yogurt, right? So let's all look at our cute faces and all of the cute needs, all of the little cute ice cream bowls we have. So if you've uploaded yours, We have some people who have just some vanilla. We got some syrup. Oh, Miss Martinez. She's got her ice cream perfect for her. These ladies have theirs perfect for them. And everybody's bowl looks what?
Filled with
Differentiated, right? It's all different for everyone. And some people, guess what? They said, guess what? I'm good. I've already learned about ice cream. I've already had my treat for the day. I don't need the support right now. You know, ice cream is not right for me. So I'm gonna go have my differentiated option in my room, which was my salad that I had, right? And that was okay. I still gave them a smile and a great job. And we, you know, gave them what they need. So again, the key here is differentiating, and when the students are in your small groups, each of them are going to need something different. So we need to kind of group together and provide those specific needs for your kids. All right, can I please have a volunteer to read this quote about small groups being flexible and differentiated? This right here up under the scoop. Can I get a volunteer to read it out loud?
This is Miss Everett. I'll read it.
Thank you.
Differentiation is simply a teacher attending to the learning needs of a particular student or small groups of students rather than teaching a class as though all individuals in it were basically alike.
Right. Would it have felt good if you came in and I was like, strawberry, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit, right?
Yes.
That's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel like I've taken your needs into concern or into consideration. So for us, when we translate ice cream into student work and assessments and stuff, we need to start looking at that data from the unit assessments, from our BAS, if you do IDI, and then GKids, even maybe more specifically for our little ones. Our group should be responsive and they should be based on some common formative assessment data, so that think about your data and it ages. So like our iReady beginning of the year data right now is kind of old at this point, right? Our students most likely have grown and they've learned new things with your great teaching already. So we need to be looking at our most up-to-date data so that we can look at those small pieces that they're not getting along the way, and we can address those in small group sort of right away. We know that the quicker we kind of give the kids feedback on that just-in-time instruction, the quicker they're going to make those gains that we need. That's how we're going to grow our green. All right, so let's talk about what groups should look like at Stonewall Tell. So we are going to be reading during small group time. And I see some people are taking notes in their note catcher right now. Thank you for doing that. And this will also be provided to you, this Nearpod as well. But again, the theme is reading, okay? So not doing a lot of writing or busy worksheets or things, extra things. We're reading during this time. So as we see, the largest ice cream cup is our teacher group, because that's the biggest bang for our buck during small group, right? There is nothing to replace your amazing instruction and nothing to replace you as a teacher in this classroom during small group instruction. This is where you get to be intentional and use your data to really target and hone in on the specific skills that your kids need. When you say, when do I have time to teach little Johnny his alphabet? Small group teacher time, right? That's the time we have, whereas maybe the whole class doesn't need that right now, and it's not on, it's not appropriate for your whole grade level, but Johnny does need letter sounds, so we need to address that in a small group. So that's, again, why your biggest group is the teacher group. Now you may ask, what do we do? Like, what does the rest of my group do when I have my teacher group with me? So we have 4 other centers that we suggest and that we sort of expect to see within our groups. We have silent reading from our book baggies. The book baggies have arrived. I've already passed them out to K through 2. I also have them for 3 through 5. So if you want to come by my room whenever you have a moment, we'll have to sign them out because we'll want to use these year after year because they were purchased with Title I funds. So again, the data that we would use for that silent or independent reading is going to be our BAS data, because ideally we want our students to be reading on their just right level, right? The more our students are reading on their just right level with those just right books, like they can choose on Mayan or again in, from their BAS level, the quicker they're going to grow. Next, the one we all know, iReady, students should be performing on their pathway for the just right instruction. And then additionally, we would like to see a word workstation in your group. 3 through 5, this may look a little different. Again, K2, we're going to use our IDI data. No, we shouldn't really see worksheets out in this time. It should be some hands-on, maybe word sorts, some type of a game with either a pair or a trio. And for 3 through 5, we may see some vocabulary work in this word work. We may also see something about prefixes, suffixes, morphology. And again, more specifics for that will come soon. Okay, this is part 1 of a 2-part PD. This first PD is going to be sort of like the overarching, what groups should look like, and we're going to talk into the teacher group. And then the next PD will be more differentiated for K2 and then 3-5 on what those specific skills would look like. And then, of course, if you have a para or EIP teacher in your room during that time, they should be actively working with a small group on a skill that, again, is a database decision, as not as just sort of maybe signing kids in or sitting around or doing something. Everybody should be actively working with students in a small group during small group time. All right, so our last slide we're going to transition from our fruit to actually what it looks like in action. I have taken some amazing pictures. Y'all know y'all probably get so annoyed with me taking pictures. I'm sorry, I just love what I see. So I always take a lot of great pictures. So we have an amazing picture of Miss Bledsoe leading a small group, doing a great job with her scholars, reading them a text on their instructional level. We have some students up here independently reading in a 3-5 class here, and then a little one with her little book baggie already. We have iReady Pathway here. And then down here, we see some kiddos doing some word work. And then over here, Miss Henderson always does such a great job. And honestly, all of the paras in kindergarten do an amazing job working with their students. And the EIP team is A1 as well. So again, actively working with your students. And this is what your room would look like in a rotation if you had such a weirdo. Did y'all see her peeping behind me? Did y'all see the principal peeping behind me? A little weirdo. But anyways, this is what it would look like in action in your classroom. All right, to you, Miss G.
Okay, guys, so we are going to take a look at how that rotation chart can look like from in the K2 classrooms as well as the 3-5. So we take a look at this rotation chart. It's just a 2 rotation chart. And at the top horizontally, you'll see the station. So you have your teacher station, your iReady station, your phonics, your reading, and your parent EIP. So the one thing that you'll see is that for this, it tells you what each group of students should be doing for that first rotation. So for that first 20 minutes, it directly states with each student where they should be for that first rotation. And then once your timer goes off, the second rotation shows where those students transition to when the timer goes off for them to go to rotation 2. So this is just a sample rotation chart for if you have 2 rotations in your class. And again, this is just a model. It's a great visual to have for students to see as well on the screen. So they are seeing like, hey, where's my next rotation? Where am I going next? And it's also really, really good because you can see the students' names. And if you keep it as a live document, you know that names may change based on different assessments. So again, this is an example of a 2 rotation small group time period. And here's where we get to 3-5. So still labeled horizontally, not as many pictures, but definitely still have that teacher station, iReady, your word work, your silent reading, and your para EIP. The only difference with this one is that if you have enough time to do 3 rotations, you can do that, but you will still see that it directly states which group each student goes to during rotation 1. And when that timer goes off, where are they rotating to second? And then when that timer goes off, where are they rotating to for that last and final rotation of the day? So again, these are models that will be available to everyone, but this is just a hard example, concrete example for you to look at when you're determining, okay, what is this going to look like? How am I going to know? And how are the students going to know how they're going to rotate.
Thank you, Ms. G. And I've also dropped in the chat a Padlet that's full of small group resources that will continue to be added to. And as you all know, it's updated on the hub underneath my name and small group instruction. So feel free to kind of use that as your own and kind of tweak it as you need it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is our look for tool when we come in. So let me back up and ask, do we have any questions so far about small groups and sort of the small groups that we see at Stonewall Tell or that we should see? Okay, great. If you think of anything, feel free to drop it in the chat and then Ms. G or I will monitor that.
Somebody has a question.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, this is Reese really quickly. How do you feel about posting the levels for 3 through 5 on the screen, like their reading level?
You don't have to, but this could be sort of like, I guess I kind of put the levels there, like level J, M, and F as like a teacher. Like you would know that when these kids come to you, you're working with them on a level J about character traits, but maybe these kids have already mastered character traits and you might work with these kids on comparing text, like if that's what your data shows you that they need. And then say, for example, these kids down here didn't do well on character traits, but they need a lower level. That's sort of why I indicated it there. I would probably not put the levels on there when the students can see it and just kind of put their names on there.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you. All right, good. So our look for tool would be sort of when we come in and we're doing walkthroughs or we're setting our goals together, we are looking for these specific things and they are based on the IGR, the instructional growth rubric, which the IGR is posted. I've given you guys copies also posted in Tiger Talk. But again, that's sort of what we look for and we can kind of go over each one. So non-negotiables for small groups, our reading workstations are labeled. If you look in the Padlet in the chat, there are already pre-made signs for you. If you want those, you can, we tried to add everything we can think of in there so that it was as easy as possible for you to just either print and go. If you need me to print you off some labels, just send me an email. I got you and I'll place it in your mailbox and you can have it done. Next, and Ms. G suggests to print and laminate them. Logistics, please make sure your data is posted. So you'll see a picture in a minute, but we need to see something with which IDI or either what BAS level, how are students going to know which book to shop from, so or which basket to shop from. So if they have their book baggie, how are they going to know? Do they shop in a F, a G, or a L? I might have some type of a color-coded dot system or either a level. And your kids will be able to speak to that as well. Like I went to shop with Miss Hightower's group the other day, and I just had a conversation. It was the first time they had book shopped, and we kind of went in collaboratively. And I just told her kids, hey, so right now you're reading on a level J or level F, and we're going to work on moving towards a level J because that's what is expected of a first grade kid at the end of the year. And we kind of just talked about it briefly, and then they chose their books, put them in their bag, and then now they're just ready to go for independent reading. So pretty easy for that, making sure that your groups are just flexible and differentiated. So if John is in the F group, John shouldn't always be in the F group unless John just hasn't grown any, right? And if John hasn't grown any in a couple months, I'm going to need to look a little closer at John and see what's going on, right? Because we would expect kids to move up in reading levels as the year goes along. I'm going to kind of talk briefly about the teacher group specifically. So in the teacher group, the teacher, this is what you would do in the teacher group. The teacher names the teaching point. So today we're going to learn. This should sound very familiar. Next, the teacher models the skill or strategy. Watch me as I do this strategy. And then 3, the teacher allows times for guided practice at the student's instructional level. Now it's your turn to use the same strategy. Where does that sound familiar from? Just holler it out.
Mini lesson.
Mini lesson.
You got it. Thank you. I heard you, Adams. She hollered from across the room. Listen, good job. It is exactly the same as the mini lesson, except for in small groups, you just shift the amount of time. The students have the majority of the time to practice the skill, but you still have to show them what you're going to teach them. So sometimes when we come in and look for a small group, we may see the teachers do have the kids there, but they haven't told the kids really what they're doing, and they haven't modeled the skill that they want them to do in the small group. So again, teacher group is for reteaching a specific skill. So we need to tell them the skill that we're going to teach them and then show them how to do that skill before we provide them with some guided practice. That means we're going to do it together. So now let's do some together. Moving on in the look for tool, independent reading, the students are reading on their own independent level. And then on the bottom down there, students engage in written or oral discussions that require them to apply the skills and strategies. So they may do that within the teacher group, and or if you have a student writing about something or doing something specific on a Just Right book, then that's also all right as well. Do we have any questions about this look for tool? And in our part 2 of our training, we'll also give you an opportunity to use this look for tool on a video as well. Okay. All right, great. So we're going to kind of move quickly, if you don't mind, Miss G, through this part since we're running a little low on time. But I just wanted to show you guys, in the small group lesson plan is also in the yellow packet. And you guys have already yelled it out that you already noticed that it is just like the mini lesson. It's literally laid out just the same way with an intro, a quick teach, let's practice them together, and then now we're going to link it. So from now on, when you're reading about a character and you realize that they've got a problem, you need to stop and think about how they reacted. You know, you're just linking it all up and telling them when they can apply it. Again, the big star is next to the teach piece because you still have to teach in small group. All right, so based on your current practices, Miss G, what they gonna do?
I would like for you to grade yourself on your current small group implementation with differentiated and flexible grouping.
Again, no judgment. This is the first time we have sort of talked as a whole group about small group instruction. So feel free, there's always room for growth.
Yes, so you're at A, B, C, and not only, again, guys, we know that you all are feeling comfortable or pretty confident about implementing small groups, but specifically differentiated and flexible, meaning are you planning for all level learners? And are your groups flexible? Are they changing consistently based on data? So please take a moment to reflect on those practices. And as you're reflecting, drop a note on your paper. Hey, I'm not differentiating. What can I do to make sure that I differentiate it? Please make sure that you are answering and taking your notes for yourself. I promise keeping them near you will help you to remember questions and give you reminders. Okay.
All right, so we'll just kind of let you reflect on that as you are jotting yourself some notes. I know we are getting close to wrap up time. And again, we appreciate your flexibility. So we have sort of people looking a little bit all over the place. But again, we appreciate your honest reflection on this, and we're going to go ahead and move on. So our next steps, if everybody will look on your note catcher, you will see your next steps have already been copied and pasted in for you. So our next steps are to set up your classroom for small group success. Your rotation chart should be evident during the reading block. I know that some people use a PowerPoint, obviously, and that's great. I've also seen some teachers that have these awesome anchor charts already made. Either is fine, again, during the reading block, or, you know, obviously during the math block also you have small groups, but during small group time, your rotation chart should be evident. And then each of these groups should be labeled. If you are using your IDI data to track your Word workstation, then you may have something that looks like this. And then these are sort of what these small group signs look like that were provided for you. Feel free, again, to use them as you would like in your room. If you have something else that's already similar to this, then that's also fine as well.
Ms. Long, can you make sure that the sign-in link is working?
Yep, I sure will.
Thank you.
Right now.
Thanks
Just
for
one.
to our
Thank you
attention,
for letting
guys.
us know that. All right. So as I'm getting that up and ready to go, we have a gentle reminder that we do have iReady PD during your planning time on Thursday. And that will again be led with Mr. Lanier. And then I would just like for everybody to take a moment. If you think of something just right off the top of your head that you need support with, go ahead and jot your name down or a little quick message to just say reach out to whoever, and we will reach out to you. Let me make sure anyone can respond.
And thank you guys for your participation.
We're gonna see if this link right here works. Okay, I'm gonna post it in the chat. See if that works for me, please. All right.
Wow, ladies. Amazing job. You set the standard for virtual PD at Stonewall Tell. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Porter.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
this is
everyone.
what the resources look like, everyone. We're about to head out last little moments. The resources, the Padlet, again, is posted in the chat and I will email it to you. And that is it, everybody. Hope you have an awesome day. Please let Ms. G or myself know if you need support with small group and be ready for part 2 coming soon.
Thank you, guys.
Yay. Thank you.
Yay, it works. So thank you for
Thank you.
in. It's in the chat. Thanks, guys.
I hope we took pictures to tweet.
I hope so. I got a lot of pictures.
Yes, we have pictures. And guys, again, please use this. And this is an awesome tool to use for your students too. So just a quick takeaway, not only for yourself, but also how can we implement it into the class? Is this a simple document, a note catcher? So an awesome tool to use with your students as well.
Yeah. All right,
Ladies,
everyone.
did we remind everyone about Thursday's training?
We did.
Perfect, thank you.
We sure did. There you go. All right, and I'll leave up this if and I'm going to take off, stop sharing the screen. So feel free to go on in, and if you need any support, I'll leave that open so you guys can fill it out. Thanks, everyone.
This long, can I do one last reminder?
Sure.
Teachers, can you also please make contact with parents via Class Dojo regarding tonight's PTA meeting? We're trying to have a great turnout. Thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget to dress for success tomorrow.
Yes.
I think I should probably sign in.